Tires on my ass, a pop singer singing country song. Blood fucking chicken trucking, big wheels there humming. High rate of fuel consumption, missing mama, needing loving, rolling with the wailing sound. Running like the southern shaker, I don't need no 40 acres to turn this rig around.
Welcome back to Trucking Fitness Radio, the #1 driver's health and fitness podcast in the world. My name's Dr. Mark. I'm the founder and CEO of the Trucking Fitness Company, and I'm pumped to have you listening to this episode. As you're aware, we are on a mission to make the trucking industry a healthier place, and this podcast is just one of the ways that we're doing it. Today, we've got an awesome guest on the show, Dan Schipper, a friend of mine and the development associate at K&J Trucking. Dan, welcome to the show. How's everything going?
It's going good, Mark. How about you?
It's going good. I've had one of those crazy busy days where you just like snap and then all of a sudden it's 2:00 in the afternoon and I'm like eating while walking from one meeting to the next. And so I'm excited just to sit down, have a good conversation, and just take a breath for a second. But I'm sure you understand that.
Definitely.
Well, I think one of the things, obviously we work at the Trucking Fitness Company, we work with K&J and some of your drivers, and I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about kind of some of the things in the future coming forward. But I really, our conversations when we met, I was just really interested in kind of the history of K&J and how you got into trucking and kind of the dynamics of all of that. And I would love for kind of you to tell the origin story.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got into trucking because I had no other choice, kind of. So my grandfather started K&J back in 1979. He my mom's family, it's her dad started it. They're from Minnesota originally. Grandma and grandpa got married real young, as you do in the 50s. And, he worked around Minnesota, came to Sioux Falls, then back to Minnesota, did construction, started driving, and then they moved to Sioux Falls and they decided they wanted to start a truck line. And grandpa bought his own truck in 1979. We started, bought his own truck. And he was actually, one of my favorite stories is he had a buddy that worked at, one of the trailer dealers here in town, and or a trucking company, one of those. And he kind of just had a handshake wink deal with him that like, hey, why don't you I'll borrow this trailer that your bosses won't notice, and I'll use that, and then I'll pay some money when I get the load done. And there's stories of grandpa would be in Phoenix delivering food or trying to get produce loaded, and he'd get a call, be like, Dave, we got to get that trailer back in 2 days. We got inventory coming. He goes, okay, holler in the night and just go, just cowboy trucking back in the 70s. I love that. I think it's awesome. Our original, I think we had like 5 guys on our fleet originally, cab over Kenworths and Peterbilts, and, exactly what you think of. I mean, you could look like they plucked right out of Smokey and the Bandit. It was just awesome. So, so him and my grandma started it, and it slowly started building traction, and they had 5 kids before they even started it. And all the kids at one point worked for K&J. And then my mom kind of stood out to be the one with the temperament, I guess, and the drive to want to take over. So, we're going through the 80s and we're doing pretty well. Grandma is able to retire. No more getting up at 4 a.m. anymore and all that, paying checks on their dining room table. And, we built the building that we're in now in 91. And then in 91, grandpa went on the table for a bypass and he never got up. And so at 29 years old in 1991, my mom took over K&J. Grandma, half came out of retirement to help a little bit. And, they together built it up to, what it is today. And, I'm really proud of my mom for this, is that, 29 years old, 1991, there was literally bets on the street on how long K&J will last until it folded.
Oh my
there
gosh.
was a mile-long line of cars at the cemetery for my grandpa, and people would come up and be like, it's such a shame about K&J. It was such a good company, and to see it go down like that, and it's like, well, hey, we're still,
Yeah.
But she proved everybody wrong, and in 2020, grandma passed away, and So it's solely my mom, and my grandma was bedridden or house ridden for the last 10 years of her life anyway. And slowly dwindled down, and now she's the only active child working at K&J. And now it's kind of this third generation coming up where I and my brother are kind of primed. My wife actually works here as well, so it's a cool deal. Looking forward to the future.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you know? Have you ever watched Shark Tank before?
Just barely, I've seen
Okay,
it.
so you know Kevin O'Leary, the bald guy, he's like Mr. One. Okay, so I was just listening to a podcast he was on, and he just said that he's made the most money investing in women-owned businesses because women get shit done. And I completely, I mean, my wife included is yes, women know how to do their. I think there needs to be more women in the trucking industry. And I think it's really badass that she stepped up and took that over and grew it to where it's at. And obviously, there's no, it's not a straight up and to the right ever when growing a business, but she did a lot of things right, and that's really cool. And I think it's really cool that there's the family dynamic. Do you have, with the obviously your mom having 4 other siblings, do you have other people in the business from those other siblings' bloodlines?
Not at all. No, actually.
Okay.
My I have a couple cousins that live in Indiana. They're, one of them's going for a doctorate at Notre Dame. One of them's working at his local parish down by Indianapolis, and then a couple more around town. Just not a lot of interest. It was Shelly's boys that had the interest. So
Gotcha.
I mean, I remember at 14 being asked like, "Hey, do you want to make this a thing?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I do. I want my kids to have what I had growing up. This place raised me. I got a lot of memories around here." And going back to the woman comment, my wife, just like yours, should just stay out of her way. She'll get it done, and she'll get it done better than you could. I can tell you that.
What was it like growing up? Like you're like 5 years old and your parents are running, or your mom's running this business. You're probably like driving in trucks and jumping around semis all day.
Yeah, every Saturday I would always come up here with my dad when I was a kid. So my dad met my mom because came on with his own truck as an owner operator.
Oh, nice.
And now he's a fleet owner, our biggest fleet owner here. So it's in my blood. And I would always come up here on Saturday mornings with dad. We'd go, going into the fitness thing, we'd go to Burger King in the morning because I liked Burger King. And then I would ride my bike around here, and I would jump in the tire stacks and do all that kind of stuff while he took care of business. And then we get done and we'd go to Taco Bell in the afternoon. And hey, why was
nice?
I don't
Burger
know.
King Taco Bell combo.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, they hate fast food. It was just what I wanted, and it was dad and I's time. So, and a bike eventually gave way to a 4-wheeler, which eventually gave way to getting hurt a lot, and then started working during Saturdays. So,
yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about what your thoughts are now, kind of your thoughts on the business as a kid, but then now that you're like super invested in the business and kind of seeing the growth, and what's your vision for K&J and in like 10 years, or what's your family's vision for it? I guess.
It's growth. It's a good amount of big growth, but my big stipulation, and everybody's here, but I've kind of taken it on really personally, is that we want to grow, but not at the expense of what makes us us. We stand out pretty well for a carrier of our size, and we do that because of who we are, how we treat people, what's most important to us. So we're not gonna it's not grow at all costs. It's stay the way we are at all costs. Next level is grow. So switching from a kid to an adult being in the business, as a kid, it's just this looming, it's your second house. It's this constant, you always got drivers in and out and all that kind of stuff. But now seeing how it runs is just the crazy thing to me. Just seeing all these different departments and all the different kinds of people it takes to make a trucking company. First and foremost, the drivers, and not understanding that, like when I was a kid, you come up to the shop and it's fun, and then you go home and you do your thing. And no, they're not doing that. They're going out. They're sacrificing time with family. They're out on the road dealing with people that don't understand what they have to go through, and then getting yelled at for it the whole way. That's the biggest eye opener to me, is just learning more about what everybody's got to go through.
Yeah, and I think that that mindset goes a long way, and obviously it's proving out with K&J, and I think something that stood out to me, especially when we were just kind of having conversations and just getting to know each other, was kind of the mantra of, when we hire someone on, if it's a driver or an office staff, we want K&J to be the last place they work, and not in the fact that they're going to be done for after a couple of years, but they want to stay 20, 30, 40 years, in the organization. And I think that speaks, says a lot about the culture and kind of how you treat. And, I think I always joke with people that, the marketing campaign in a box for a trucking company is say we're a family run family company, but it's obviously it bleeds through with K&J. And I think you are definitely one of the shining brights of showing people how to act like families. So talk to me about kind of the relationship with drivers and kind of what you found successful to, obviously turnover and retention is a topic that, from drivers talking about it because they don't want to go to a company that's turning over every year a whole new fleet, to the executives saying this is burning a hole in our bottom line. What have you found successful in like keeping drivers with K&J for the long haul?
It's a groundbreaking thing, but treating people fairly and with respect and like they're people,
Yes. Isn't it crazy? Yeah.
It's nuts. I don't know how we cracked the code, but we say this a lot. Like everyone says, without a trucker, you wouldn't have a job. But like that's literally like what it is. It's what we mean. That's kind of our mantra. We're going to do everything we can for you to be successful. 2021, I'm going to brag. 2021, we had 8% controllable turnover, and there's a couple guys outside of that 8% that just retired. Well, you can't count that against. They put their time in, but controllable turnover is everything from I went to another company to I got out of trucking altogether. So I mean, 8% with that, and we're 90% owner operators. So we really believe that if we take care of our people, they will take care of us. So it's having a lease program like we do, where a guy can come in. We got a driver, an owner op here. He's actually fleet owner now. He came in about 5-6 years ago. Doug's his name. He was a banker. I want to try trucking. Came in as a company driver. And this guy's super smart. He's just ridiculous. Came in as a banker, drove for like 6 months, got in our lease program. And our lease program is, it's no money down, and it's not a no money down and we're going to screw you on the back end. It's designed for you to be successful. And in like 4 years, he went from never driving a truck to getting his CDL, to becoming a company driver, to owning his own truck, to owning 3. And now he owns 4 or 5 and is semi-retired in his house in Florida. Like just goes riding his Harley and hunting and fishing and doing his thing. It's just, we're set up, and we love seeing that. We want to see that, we're set up for people to live good lives, and it's part of the problem with our retention, or part of the great thing about our retention is once we find somebody that fits us and we fit them as a person, because that's just as, if not more important than you fitting us, they stay, and we slowly grow because we have a very strenuous, stringent onboarding process, because the last thing we want to do is for you to take all this time to come work for us and then have a bad experience. We want you to have a great experience. And if you want to run local and be home every night, I'm going to tell you, man, I really wish we could have you, but we just can't do it right now. That's just because I was running. And building those good relationships, and always leaving people with the thought of, hey, K&J treated me right, whether it's been for the last 35 years that I've been driving for them, or the 10 minutes I talked to Dan or Carrie on the phone and was told that, hey, we can't accommodate what you need. That's our biggest thing. So.
Yeah. And, I think I've, heard it from drivers firsthand, but also seen it just, in these trucking Facebook groups, or just, in general of, the lease to own programs at certain companies are something that's lost a lot of drivers sleep at night, because, and honestly, financially has been really tough for a lot of drivers, and put them in a situation where they are stuck. They're potentially paying the company at the end of the month instead of getting paid. And it's like, it's crazy. And it's awesome when you find something that's successful and is a win-win for everyone. And you can build that long-term relationship and you can see someone's fleet grow, and see that transition. And that's really cool to kind of see firsthand.
Yeah. And I mean, I give you the example of Doug, but I could give you an example of every one of our fleet owners that, Doug's special because he was a banker. And then at like 42 decided to do this, but all these other guys, like he's not the only one. Like every one of our fleet owners started off, besides one guy, started off a single guy that had his own truck or started off as a company and then built up from there, so
yeah. And this is it kind of just like I'm actually just like super interested personally is like, have you seen growth from your owner operators growing your fleet? So like K&J as a whole grows because they're smaller fleets that are running, I guess technically under your authority, and you can tell me if I'm using words wrong. So under your authority are growing, so your overall fleet's growing, or have you seen more you're bringing company drivers onto K&J or kind of a combo of the two?
So we're very owner operator centric, kind of obviously with that number, but like I'm working in recruiting right now. And Carrie and I both do. Carrie's doing some big special projects that had to come about because of the ELDT mandate stuff. So I'm kind of taking over while she's doing that. But we recruit drivers, and the first people on our list is our owner operators and fleet owners, and K&J as company drivers is the last. And we have a list of who's got open trucks, who got it last. Like there's this rotating list of this fairness that goes about because we're working for you, and that's what we're here to do, is work for you. And if you're making money, we're making money, your driver's making money, we're all happy, so it's
well, and I think something that we've obviously both of us personally connected with is just kind of the love of fitness and love of health and wellness. And obviously this is the Trucking Fitness Radio, and I run the Trucking Fitness company, and something that you have been around trucks and in the trucking industry for your whole life, and you have never driven, correct? You don't have your CDL.
I don't know. Haven't done it.
Okay. No, so but you've been around and you've seen the good and the bad of what can happen of that. And unfortunately I talk to drivers every single day of going down that path, and we all know the statistics, and I don't have to repeat them. But you just go to a truck stop and you see the average driver, and what we're trying to do is show drivers there's another path, and that you don't have to go down this path. Or if you find yourself going down that path, it's not too late to turn around and make changes to your day-to-day routine, and the impact that some changes to your health and wellness and your daily routine can have 6 months, a year from now, if you do it on a consistent basis. And I'd love to kind of hear your perspective on drivers specifically.
Yeah, well, it's I really feel like it's really unfair to them, honestly.
Yeah.
Their job requires them, like it's physically strenuous without being able to burn a lot of calories, because you're always on edge, always looking and looking out for every possibility, because you're driving an 80,000 pound vehicle down the road with a bunch of people that don't know how to drive a quarter as well as you do. And then you do that for 11 hours a day, and you get done. It's like, oh, let's see what the truck stop has. Well, they have rows of chips. They got all this, pop or soda, if you want to say it wrong. And, like here's burgers and that stuff. And, oh yeah, here's this little 2x3 cooler that's got a pack of like cheese and grapes, pick something healthy. Or you go to Denny's. And I know that you guys have, which I love, this is my favorite thing about you guys, is you have those like, hey, if you're going to Burger King, going to Denny's, get this instead of this. But like, I mean, what you got your two options that aren't 900 to 1200 calories, it's just, and then your hours that you got to run, and not getting into politics, but being handcuffed by regulations and all that kind of stuff, where it's like, cool, you're going to work really, really hard all day long and take these arbitrary breaks kind of. And then, oh yeah, now that you're really tired and mentally worn out, why don't you go and get some exercise or walk around your truck in the middle of downtown Detroit, because that's safe. It's just, you're handicapped. And I'm seeing, as I've grown up, I've seen truckers get progressively healthier. And I think that's because, more of a deal is made about it. But it's just not nearly enough, as you know. And they're working with a limited bag of tools. You're not going to build a house with a Phillips screwdriver and a hammer, you know?
Yeah, and that's why I really think that there's a lot of opportunity for companies to come in and provide more resources. And that's why I think I've heard a couple of the things that you've done in the past at K&J, and obviously we're working together and providing a great program to drivers, but I really think the approach that a lot of drivers take that makes it really difficult to dig out of is they focus all on the things that they can't control. So the thing you just listed a million different things that puts them in this handcuffed position, and it seems impossible to get out of. But what we're trying to do, and working with your drivers, and we've got a couple of people who've had success in the program, and hopefully we can get some more people involved as well. Is let's shift the narrative to let's really put your energy and focus on the things that you can control, because there's a lot when you look day to day, there's a lot of small decisions or small periods of time where just one or two adjustments can make a huge impact if done consistently. And
Mhm.
so, and a great example of that is, if you're getting down on the fact that you eat McDonald's every single day, or that the only place you can eat at is McDonald's, it's really easy to be like, well, this is just one meal, or I can't do anything about it. Let me just grab the Big Mac. Well, what if we just put the focus on finding the healthiest option at McDonald's?
Mhm.
And you do that day over day over day for 20, 30 years, and all of a sudden there's two different people depending on the decision you made, right? And the same goes for we've got programs that a driver can do in their truck, right? I'm not saying you need to go out and run a marathon, or go off of your course and find a gym that then you can park a semi at, and then you have to buy a membership and do all this craziness. I'm saying park for the day, do a 20-minute workout in your truck. We'll give you all the equipment you need, and just get into the routine. And I think something that a lot of people underestimate and don't think about with starting exercise, or eating a little bit healthier, is how much more energized they're going to feel, how much more you know 10 years younger. Oh,
God.
my back's a little less stiff, all these different things. That's on top of, hey, I lost 20 pounds, or I lost 15 pounds. And I think that there's just so much opportunity there, and I'm really excited for I think in general companies are starting to think about it, especially from the preventative side of things, and getting people doing something versus continually trying to put a band-aid on this bullet wound, right? Of
Exactly. Yeah.
after someone has something that goes wrong. And so I think it's really cool what you're doing at K&J, and what we're able to do partnering up.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I threw out a million things, but Denny's only has two healthy things. Well, that's better than no healthy things. And it's Denny's. It's probably going to taste good. McDonald's, it's probably going to taste good. And exercising, like you said, you don't need to run a marathon. You don't need to bring a barbell and weights. Maybe just stretch. Maybe, stretch a little bit, do something that gets you a little hot and sweaty. I don't, if that's waving your arms about in the cabin, or, start where you're at. Don't look at the peak of the summit and all this kind of stuff. Start where you're at and just be 1% better. Make that 1% choice. And I don't mean to be derogatory when I say better, but like, is it going to take that much
Healthier.
effort? Yeah. Is it going to take that much effort, instead of going right from your seat to the bunk to throw on Netflix or something? Maybe on your way, just do some stretching before you get in the bunk. Take 2 minutes, do that. Maybe do some push-ups if you're able to do that, or whatever the Trucking Fitness app tells you to do.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so, I think especially when you're talking about exercise, I think one of the biggest things that is a hurdle for drivers is just, you mentioned it earlier, the mental taxing that driving for 11 hours does a day. does for someone. And the last thing that you want to do as a driver is say, all right, well, let me now create this workout program that I'm going to do. Oh, and now let me go actually do it. And so what we're trying to do is, and what you're available with our program, if you're a driver at K&J, or, if you're another driver and you're looking for, something that's just very tell you what to do and have an expert who understands your lifestyle tell you what to do, is you just open the app and you click start and you put your phone down, and there's videos of someone in a truck or outside of a truck or at home, depending on what program you want to do, that's showing you what to do, telling you what to do, and you don't have to mentally do anything. You just have to press start. And I think that goes a long way.
Yeah. And there's, for as many problems as there are, there's usually an equal amount of solutions, So like you said, you can, even the fittest person in the world can absolutely demolish themselves in the cab of a truck,
Yes.
in however long. And you don't even need to do that to make, or eating meals. It's like, if you're working for a company that provides a microwave, which they should, bring some healthier stuff to nuke on the road, and then sprinkle in, like, hey, you know what, do that 80-20 thing. I got, as much as my fridge can hold of good, healthy stuff, but I'm going to allow myself every now and every, once a day, once a week, to go to McDonald's, and maybe I don't have to pick the healthiest thing. Maybe I can pick just not the worst thing, and if I'm maintaining that and you catch that rhythm, all of a sudden, like you said, over time and consistency, you just start seeing drastic changes little by little.
Yeah, no, and I think with that 80-20 rule, that that time where you are giving yourself a cheat, which I'm assuming, Dan, you're just like me. I do it as well. I think it's really important. Also, I think anytime you're changing your health, you have to set it up in a way that you don't hate your life, because that's not what health is about, right? Yeah, exactly. And I think one tip that I have, and that's been successful for me, is, instead of grabbing the bag of Doritos and eating directly out of the bag, which just sets it up for something you to wake up in this nacho cheese coma after eating the whole bag or whatever. Set out one serving, or set out a serving and a half, or two servings, but just set out what you're going to eat, and then put the rest arm's length away. Or if you're going to buy something, buy one serving size of it, and don't buy this huge bag and keep it in your truck. Take that, keep the snacks in your truck healthy or healthy-ish, and just enjoy yourself, but just have it in moderation, and have that portion control, because that alone goes so far. Because a lot of people, it's not the Doritos that's making someone gain weight. It's the bag of Doritos in one sitting that's making someone gain weight. And there's a way, I think a lot of people, when they think about eating healthy, their brain automatically goes to, I have to change everything about my diet, and that's not how it works. You can literally just make some small changes. And I think there's kind of normally two different types of people: the type of people who are eating the right types of food but too much of it, or the people who are eating the right amount of food but the wrong types of food, right? And I think you have to kind of have some, and there's a middle ground where kind of it's a third person, but you have to have that self-awareness, and just be able to have that control of, okay, I'm going to eat that snack, or I'm going to eat some ice cream, but I'm going to control the portion of it. And I think that goes a long way. But I would love to, I'd love to kind of get a little bit more personal on you. And what do you do for fitness? What do you like to do for working out?
I like lifting heavy things and then putting them back down. I like playing hockey. I played hockey my whole life. It's a huge thing for me. It's my only cardio, pretty much. But it's awesome. And I tell you what, if you've never played, just try it once and you're going to be in a puddle. But I've always kind of liked lifting ever since high school. My wife and I, we're lucky enough to have a gym in our basement. So we have a barbell and a rack. We have dumbbells, and we got, a leg curl and a leg extension that we got off of Marketplace, and stuff like that. So I like working on the powerlifting-esque type stuff, even though I have pathetic numbers for someone my size, but
we all have starting spots. It's all good. So do you play like in a men's league hockey?
Okay. Beer league, yep.
At like 11 o'clock at night, because that seems to be the only ice time you're able to get for men's leagues.
we're moving away from the 11 o'clock, late
Okay.
in the summer, there's drop-ins at 8. So that's great. I can put the kids
Okay.
down and then I can head out. But yeah, I captained a team for like 5. As soon as I got out of high school, I got done playing high school hockey. And instead of playing some really terrible junior hockey and eventually going nowhere and wasting a couple years of my life, I decided, let's go play beer league with the guys. And, after 2 years of that, I started my own team. And after 5 years of running that, I said, no, thank you. 2 kids will take that right out of you. So yeah, it's just finding times that, I got, Sunday nights at 11 are really hard to get up and go play a game,
Yeah,
I've had a
especially
few of
Monday
those.
morning.
Oh
But nice. Yeah, I really like, I don't play hockey. But I've never played, to be honest. I grew up playing baseball, but I really like weightlifting and the powerlifting-esque bodybuilding stuff. I like lifting
Yeah.
heavy things as well. And that's cool. That's awesome. And the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I've been kind of having this like internal debate in my head about, what's the best fast casual restaurant? What's your favorite fast casual restaurant? And I'll preface this with, I really like Chipotle and Qdoba. And like I just really like the bowls, the Mexican like bowls, like like the rice bowls and stuff like that. I make that every single night for dinner. That's my dinner. I put an egg on top of it with some avocado. And what's your favorite?
Yeah, no, Mexico got it right when they came to food. I mean, I love exactly what you said, except Qdoba is the best and Chipotle is forever inferior, and I don't care what anybody says.
Why do
Qdoba's
you say that? Why?
because Chipotle has baby portions and they
Okay.
are overhyped, and it's just, they're the ones talking about having real food, and it's really not that real. And Qdoba is just sitting here in the Midwest, just like, we're just going to do it right, and we're going to make a lot of money because we have good food. And then
Wait, is
somewhere in the
Qdoba
East,
only Midwest?
what now?
Is Qdoba only in the Midwest?
I don't, I got a sister that lives out east in Connecticut, right by New York, and they only have Chipotle.
Hmm.
So I just associate that with a Midwest thing, but it's not quite Taco John's level of Midwest, but it's a lot better than that. It's awesome. Their bowls are great. If I'm feeling extra healthy, I'll get a salad with everything that I normally get in a bowl.
Okay.
But yeah, it's
Nice.
so good.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we agree on that, because that's something that I'm very strong about. I think Panera is like expensive hospital food
Yeah.
at a certain
Oh
level.
my gosh.
I am not a big Five Guys fan either, and just like some of those, I really think like I really like I like Chipotle. Chipotle's close to us, but I don't discriminate against Chipotle or Qdoba. It's honestly which one's closer to me
Yeah.
is the one I typically go to. But
And,
that's
and,
awesome.
and when it comes to Five Guys, another one that people grill me on, their fries suck. Their fries are terrible. Everyone loves them. They're not good. They're not
You
good.
have to you walk into Five Guys and you come out and you have to like take 3 showers to get the smell and
Yeah.
oil, peanut oil off of your body.
Exactly. It's just, and it's not even like, and I love meats and greasy food. I've had terrible weight problems, but I love greasy food. And it's like, it's not even worth it at that point, You
No,
can't come
especially for
out
like
looking like you
13
got
bucks a burger or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, it's just, if you're going to a burger place, like Fuddruckers is good. I haven't been there in forever, but that's pretty good as far as that goes. And, Red Robin's decent, but their portions are crap. And hey, we have endless fries, but we're going to give you 4 at a time and we're going to come back every half hour. So it's just some marketing ploy that doesn't work. Just go to Qdoba.
Well, yeah.
We
I have
actually have
not had Fuddruckers or whatever
yeah,
it's called.
it's like think of Applebee's if they only did, it's like if Applebee's and Texas Roadhouse had a baby that only did burgers, that's what Fuddruckers is.
Awesome.
But and we actually have a local place, actually my favorite, better than Qdoba. It's only in Sioux Falls. It's called I think Gilberto's or Gilberto's. We call it Gilly Bees. It's this, I don't know who they were, just some local, somebody from Mexico just started up this, they call it a taco shop. And now there's like 3 around town, and it's the best food in the world. Oh my gosh.
Really?
It's so good. They have and I call them white people burritos. It's just steak, potato, egg, and cheese, and I throw ketchup on it. Just no shame.
Okay.
But they have
Like a breakfast burrito type of thing, kind of.
oh yeah, I'll get that at 10 at night. I don't care. It's so good.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, when I'm in Sioux Falls, you're gonna have to take me there. That
Oh yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Dan, I appreciate you coming on the show. I'm excited to, help obviously work with K&J. Hopefully, really make some huge impact on a big portion of your fleet and honestly the culture in general, because I think everyone working together to live a healthier life moves everyone in the right direction. And so
Yeah.
thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate your partnership with us. Just going back to caring for drivers, you care more about their pocketbook, or you care more about them than just their pocketbook. If you want to take care of your drivers, then you take care of every bit of them. You take care of not only their financial and their home time requests that are huge ones, but show them that you care about their health. We want our drivers around for a long time. So we're going to give them every opportunity that we can to live as healthy as they can, so they can be around for a long time, and we can see them grow and be successful and support families. And to us, that's what it's all about. We serve God first, and we do trucking on the side. That's kind of our motto too. So that's what we're supposed to
Awesome.
do.
And I really think you are honestly taking a lead in the industry on that approach. And I think the companies who have not figured that out are slowly realizing, oh wait, hey, this whole caring for our employees thing, it actually works, and we probably should do more of that. So I'm right there with you. And hey, first podcast ever checked off the book. You did it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
All
you.
right. Everyone listen, we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
High rate of fuel consumption, missing mama, needing love and rolling with the weight of sound. Running like the Southern Shaker, I don't need no 40 acres to turn this rig around. I'm jacked up like a Chevy, but ain't heading to the levee. Lord have mercy sakes alive on this high